Hurt people hurt people. This is a phrase that we have all heard before, and it is one that rings true in many ways. When someone has been hurt, they are more likely to lash out and hurt others. It's like a domino effect, one hurt leading to another. However, this is not how it has to be. We can look to Jesus as an example of how to break this cycle and instead spread love and kindness to those around us, no matter what their past experiences may be. And we will, but first, why hurt people hurt people? One of the reasons is that they are carrying around a lot of pain and anger that they have not dealt with. They may have been hurt in the past by someone else, and they have not been able to let go of that pain. As a result, they end up taking their anger and frustration out on others. This is illustrated in the following passage from the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. When we see people who behave badly, we think they are bad people. But we should consider that they are just people who are in a lot of pain. Someone who is not in pain would not hurt others. We only hurt others when we are in pain ourselves. This passage reminds us that hurt people are not necessarily bad people, they are just people who are in a lot of pain. When we understand this, we can be more compassionate towards them and try to help them heal. One metaphor to explain why hurt people is to think of emotional pain as a virus. When someone experiences a traumatic event or is consistently mistreated, it's as if they have contracted this virus. Just as a physical virus can spread from one person to another, so too can emotional pain. If someone has not healed from their own pain, they are more likely to unconsciously spread that pain to others, infecting them with their own hurt and pain. This is why it's so important to focus on healing our own emotional wounds so that we can stop the cycle of hurt and pain from perpetuating itself. Maya Angelou once said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." These words are especially true when it comes to the idea that hurt people hurt people. This concept suggests that people who have been hurt or traumatized in some way are more likely to inflict harm on others, either consciously or subconsciously. But what can we do about it? What would Jesus do in the face of hurt people hurting people? Jesus' teachings are centered around love and compassion, and he consistently urged his followers to love their enemies and to forgive those who have wronged them. In Matthew 5:44, Jesus says, "But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." This kind of radical love and forgiveness can be difficult to practice, especially when we are the ones who have been hurt. But by extending compassion to those who have hurt us, we can break the cycle of hurt and pain and start to create a more peaceful world. Jesus himself spoke to the importance of small kind gestures in his teachings. In the Gospel of Matthew, he says, "And whoever gives one of these little ones even a cup of cold water because he is a disciple, truly, I say to you, he will by no means lose his reward." Matthew 10:42. This passage reminds us that even the smallest act of kindness can have a big impact and will not go unnoticed by God. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Aesop. So what can we do in our daily lives to combat the cycle of hurt people hurting people? We can follow Jesus' example by doing small things. One simple but powerful action is to smile and say hello to people. This might seem like a small gesture, but it can have a ripple effect, just like throwing a stone into a pond. When we smile and greet others, we are acknowledging their humanity and showing them that they matter. This can create a positive chain reaction, as that person may go on to treat others with kindness and compassion. Sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in your heart. A. Milne. Another action we can take is to practice empathy. Empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. Alfred Adler. When we see someone who is lashing out or being unkind, it's easy to react with anger or frustration. But if we can take a step back and try to understand where that person is coming from, we can respond with more compassion. Perhaps that person is hurting and doesn't know how to express it in a healthy way. By responding with empathy, we can help to diffuse the situation and create a more positive outcome. In conclusion, the phrase hurt people is a sad reality that we see all too often in our world today. But it doesn't have to be this way. By looking to Jesus as an example of how to break the cycle of hurt and pain, we can spread love and kindness to those around us, no matter what their past experiences may be. We can start with small acts of kindness and practicing empathy, which can create a positive chain reaction and contribute to a more peaceful world. Let us remember that everyone is fighting their own battles, and by extending compassion to those who have hurt us, we can begin to heal ourselves and others. As Mother Teresa said, we cannot do great things, only small things with great love.